Hey guys, welcome back to your channel. This podcast is sponsored by mono.fm. In this episode, I'm going to talk about what I have learned from a polar explorer. Have you guys ever met a polar explorer in your life? I have met one back in 2014. He's a Japanese polar explorer called Ogita Yasunaga. And he has been trying to go to North Pole for the past 20 years, and he tried for more than 16 times. And on each expedition, his method is that he's going on a solo expedition, and he only relies on his food. He doesn't use any device, and also he will not get any supplies in the middle of the expedition. And that's how he tries to go to North Pole. And he had already walked more than 10,000 kilometers, which is more than 6,000 miles. And back in 2018 January, he was the first Japanese person to arrive at the North Pole without any supplies and on his solo expedition on foot. And I first met him when we were having a drinking party back in 2014. He was some of our friends' friend, and when I first met a polar explorer, I was so excited and asked many stuff about what his expedition is like. And it seems a very dangerous expedition. Each time he goes on a solo expedition, and no one will help him when he got in trouble. And I heard that sometimes a polar bear will approach his tent at night thinking he's like a food or something. And it's extremely cold, obviously. And he only walks without supplies, so he has to walk more than 2 months usually on each expedition to reach North Pole or South Pole. And when I first met him, I asked him, "Why do you go to North Pole?" And his answer was quite surprising to me. He said, "The process of going to the North Pole is the purpose of going to the North Pole." And I didn't get what he meant by that back then. I thought, why could the process be a purpose? Process is just a process. There must be some purpose he goes to the North Pole. And after a few weeks, I had to go to the UK to get my master's degree. And the life in the UK was quite boring or simple, I would say. I only had 2 classes a week. The rest of the days, I usually just go to the library and spend the whole day there reading books. After spending a few months in the UK, I suddenly realized one day that, now I understand what Ogita-san said by the process is the purpose. So back then, my purpose of staying in the UK was to get my master's degree, and the process was to study every day. But I tend to put less focus on the everyday study and thinking to get the master's degree, I should survive this process, even though it's not fun, even though it's boring. But then one day I realized that the process, the everyday study, should be a purpose itself. If I don't enjoy every single moment of my study each day, I would be losing a lot of my time in the UK. I will not enjoy my time in the UK if I only focus on achieving the purpose, which is to get a master's degree, and I don't enjoy every day. Then what's the purpose of staying in the UK? So then I thought the process is as important as the purpose. So then I started to enjoy every single day. I even started to enjoy my studying at the library every day. That's how Ogita-san made me realize that each moment of each day is as important as the moment you achieved something. That's one thing I've learned from him. And the second thing I've learned from him is that when you start doing something, like your job or something, it doesn't have to be motivated by making money. I guess a lot of people are doing their job to make money, to support their families. I do my job to make money too. But after hearing Ogita-san's stories, I start to think that to do something, you don't really have to get motivated by making money. I guess Ogita-san goes to North Pole simply because he wants to go, simply because he's curious, simply because he wants to do the adventure. And that's it. I don't think he's going to North Pole to make money. There must be some other ways for you to make more money than going to the North Pole. But he still goes there for the past 20 years and he's still going there. What makes him goes to the North Pole is simply the curiosity and the love for the North Pole. So then I thought, maybe we don't really have to be motivated only by making money when we do something new. Why don't we just start doing something we like, even though it doesn't make you any money? Which is what I'm doing right now. I started this podcast not to make money because I don't make any money. And I'm even paying money for hosting this podcast. But I enjoy this. I like to share my thoughts. I like to output my thoughts. And I will be really happy if someone listens to this podcast and change their thoughts and can live their life happier than before. So that's the second thing I've learned from Ogita-san. And the third thing I learned from Ogita-san is that you don't do your job for someone else. You do job for yourself. So Ogita-san goes to North Pole not to please someone else. He said he goes to North Pole or South Pole simply because he wants to go. He wants to please himself. He's going there for himself, not for anyone else. When we are doing something, like when we are doing our job or when we are studying, we tend to justify our conduct, saying that, oh, I'm doing this for someone else, like I'm doing this job for my family, or I'm studying for my parents, or stuff like that. But I think after all, the purpose of our life is not for someone else. We live our lives for ourselves. So the job you do, you don't do it for someone else. You just do it for yourself, to please yourself. If you don't think you can please yourself with your job, then maybe there are something else that you can do to please yourself. And Ogita-san is going to North Pole just for himself, but eventually his adventure, his expedition influences other people and makes some social impact on other people. And that's the right consequence. That's the right procedure. You first do it for yourself, and eventually what you have done have impact on other people, can influence other people's mind. But you don't do that the other way around. You don't start something for other people, but you are unhappy about it. I always think people have to first please themselves, first satisfy themselves, first love themselves, first accept themselves, before they can love other people, before they can satisfy other people, before they can have impact on other people. It always starts from ourselves. If you don't treat yourself well, you can't treat other people well. So that's the third thing I've learned from Ogita-san. So, yep, in this episode I've shared what I've learned from this polar explorer, Ogita Yasunaga-san. First of all, I've learned that a process could be the purpose as well. And second thing, I've learned that the money doesn't have to be the motivation for you to start something new. Third thing I've learned from him, that first please yourself before you please other people. Alright, thank you for listening. I'll see you in my next episode. Bye bye.